Now on CoastTV News.
Frozen ferry. Another day of travel disruption across the Delaware Bay.
Plus, redistricting ruckus. The move to make Maryland a one-party state in Congress and the potential lawsuit that could block it.
Stepping into temperatures in the teens this morning, the pick of the week on the way today as we make a run of 40 degrees, but I am tracking a period of light snow overnight tonight.
In classroom cost choice, the proposed referendum in Laurel as voters will make their decision next week.
This is CoastTV News Today.
It is Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for being up with us during this 5 o'clock hour.
Grace, it's cold out there. Not as cold, just cold. And I think we await that big thaw, and as the ice and snow appears that it's on the side of the roads. It's solid rock hard ice.
It's sticking.
Like to have that melted.
You know what? I thought we were clear of it, and Chris and I were walking into the station this morning, and we're like, oh, there's a new giant patch of ice.
I saw that.
New.
I saw that. I think something melted and then froze overnight.
I don't know if you can call it a thaw if we're only getting up to 40 degrees, but we're hopeful across the coast.
I think when you talk 40 compared to 20,
that's a little better.
Bit of a jump.
You'll take that.
All right, well, to clarify all this, we're not experts. Chris Mastrobono is our first alert meteorologist, so let's get right to Chris in the Weather Center. And Chris, are we getting that thaw?
Yes, it's going to be actually pretty nice by this afternoon. I'm going to need my roller skates as we go into the ice skates as we go into the station this morning. But you see that icy inlet here in Ocean City, not dealing with much of a wind chill this morning, so that's actually kind of helping us right now here in Ocean City. Temperatures are generally in the teens and 20s across the area. We're at 26 right now. 21 in Long Neck, 19 in Seaford. As I mentioned, not much of a wind chill this morning. We have calm winds out there. Little light snow passing across central Pennsylvania. The system that will bring us a chance of some light snow tonight is still back off across the Midwest, and that's going to be pushing through tonight. So we start off with some sunshine today. Clouds will be increasing through the afternoon as we get up to around 40 degrees. So enjoy the 40s because unfortunately there's another blast of Arctic air coming by the end of the week. I'll talk more about that coming up in my full 7-day forecast.
All right, thank you, Chris. And our top story this morning, the cold is even keeping the Cape May Lewes Ferry from its scheduled crossings of the Delaware Bay.
That's right, Matt. And CoastTV's Elisa Weber is near the ferry terminal in Lewes. Elisa, it's another day of some cancellations.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. We are here at the ferry terminal, and here in coastal Delaware, we are still experiencing that cold and that ice. It's all around us, but the ferry has announced more cancellations for this morning. There's a sign behind me that indicates those cancellations are for the 8:45 a.m. ferry in Lewes and the 7 a.m. ferry in Cape May. And the cancellations are no surprise as operations have been canceled for the past couple of days in a row. On your screen right now is a look at the situation here. The bay is completely frozen over, which is not something we see often. We spoke with the director of the ferry who says tugboats are working to help. While the ferries are normally able to break up some of the ice, this week has proven to be too much. And the ferry says to stay updated, keep checking their Facebook pages and their website. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa in Lewes. Happening today, Sussex County Council is set to discuss a mega development that is looking to come to the Selbyville area. This development would bring hundreds of units to the area you can see on your screen right now. Crosswinds LLC wants to change the zoning of the land on Lighthouse Road and Dickerson Road from agricultural residential to an agricultural residential district residential planned community. The proposed development, known as Crosswinds Landing, looks to bring 352 units to this area, which includes 191 townhomes, 161 single-family homes. That's according to the developer.
Yeah, also at that meeting, there's a presentation and also several grant requests. According to the agenda, the presentation includes the Opioid Settlement Distribution Commission, and then some of those grant requests are the Eastern Shore AFRAM Festival. They're asking for help with their Martin Luther King Day of celebration. East Sussex Public Broadcasting says it needs equipment upgrades, and Clothing Our Kids is seeking assistance for its Clothe a Kid program. Sussex County Council meets at 10 a.m.
New this morning, the Maryland Transportation Authority is requesting proposals to improve protection around the main spans of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. Officials say the project would improve existing protection on both the eastbound and westbound spans. Proposals are due in June of 2026, with an award expected in the fall. Construction is anticipated to begin in the spring of 2027. And to learn more on how to submit proposals and what the agency is looking for in a design team, head to the article that's on our website, coasttv.com.
The new Delaware law tied to offshore wind now officially in effect, even though the legal fight over it isn't. Senate Bill 159 kicked in over the weekend after a judge said no to Fenwick Island's request to temporarily block it. The law deals with a large electrical substation for renewable energy projects, including one proposed for the U.S. wind project. It requires allowing those substations in certain industrial areas, overriding a previous no from Sussex County. Now, Fenwick Island and the county are both suing the state over the law, and that case is still playing out in court.
And an update to a story that we brought you on Monday. Millsboro Town Council has unanimously approved a zoning change that opens the door for food trucks to operate more easily. Following a public hearing, council members voted to amend the town food code. Previously, food trucks were only permitted during festivals and events, and now they can operate year-round. The change would also allow these businesses in the Highway Commercial District.
We had several food truck vendors come in and give their feedback. And what we determined was we wanted to isolate it to the highway commercial zoning, but you have to get permission from the property owner.
This ordinance change would not permit food trucks in the downtown area of Millsboro.
You're looking now at the Lewes Water Tower, work underway to build a new one. It would go here on Jones Farm between Kings Highway and Savannah Road. Now, we're told that crews have started welding large sections of the more than $6 million water tower. The Board of Public Works says the tower will get topped with a 1 million gallon storage tank. That will quadruple the city's capacity. The old water tower, that will remain in service, and work is expected to finish in September.
Neighbors in the Laurel School District will be heading to the polls next week to vote on a school referendum. If approved, it would mean a potential $14 a month increase for the average taxpayer. District officials say the added revenue would help fund staff salaries, safety, and security, transportation and student services, and that referendum is scheduled for Monday, February 9th.
5 Cape May high school students and one other child held a Monday morning walkout along Kings Highway over immigration enforcement. They carried signs protesting ICE, an upside-down American flag, and a pride flag as traffic passed. Now, a social media post that looked like an official school graphic encouraged students to join a student body walkout as protest. The Cape May School District said they did not create the post and did not support or organize the protest.
New overnight, the Maryland House of Delegates voted to pass new congressional maps. A commission appointed by Governor Wes Moore has released a map concept that would change District 1, which encompasses the entire Eastern Shore, by merging in heavy Democratic areas from Anne Arundel and Howard counties. The seat is held by Andy Harris, the only Republican in Maryland's congressional delegation, and the issue still needs approval from the Senate. The state Senate president, who is a Democrat, has voiced concerns over the idea.
Now, Governor Wes Moore said in a statement, quote, "Tonight the House took an important step to strengthen our democracy and ensure Maryland's representation reflects the will of the people," end quote.
And here's what Representative Harris said a few weeks ago when the commission moved forward with the proposed change. Quote, "The Senate president calls it objectively unconstitutional, but that didn't stop Moore from trying to save his presidential aspirations. See you in court, Wes."
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem says all officers in the field in Minneapolis are getting body cameras, and eventually this will be the case for all immigration agents.
It is something that Democrats have been demanding as part of the effort to reopen the government. NBC's Alice Barr shows us how the announcement comes as House lawmakers worked into the evening to do just that.
The push is on today to pull the federal government out of a partial shutdown, with some federal workers furloughed once again. House Speaker Mike Johnson sounding confident he'll have the votes to change that.
We got FEMA and TSA and troop pay and everything else wrapped into this, so we've got to get the job done. The House will be in order.
The House is set to vote today on a Senate-passed package that fully funds most of the government, but the Department of Homeland Security gets just 2 weeks of funding and a tall task in that time for lawmakers to negotiate reforms to immigration enforcement, with Democrats calling for dramatic changes amid unrest over the shooting deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy by federal officers in Minnesota.
The American people are correctly demanding accountability. The American people want to see the mask come off.
One demand already met as the Homeland Security Secretary announced body cameras for all federal immigration officers in Minneapolis, with plans to expand that nationwide as funding allows. President Trump backing the move.
They generally tend to be good for law enforcement because people can't lie about what's happening.
While also calling on both sides to pass the funding package with no changes and promising to work together to address issues raised. Though reaching agreement on the future of ICE won't be easy, with Republicans not backing down on their immigration crackdown.
If the Democrats want to throw out these ridiculous proposals that make it harder for ICE to do their job, that's just not going to happen.
The hope now to avoid a prolonged standoff. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
The Delaware DMV warning people about a potential new text scam. Fake messages are claiming people owe money for traffic or toll violations and urging them to click a link to pay by a specific deadline. The text often threatens suspension of car registration or driving privileges if payment isn't made. And according to the DMV, these messages are scams designated to steal money and gain access to personal and financial information. The agency says do not click on any links or provide any kind of information.
The Seaford Police Department says they are offering a new vacation watch program for people while they are away from home. Police say it will allow those who live in the city to request officers to check in on their homes, and people who are interested can visit the department's website to request the service and then get an automatic email letting them know when their home has been checked.
And we're just getting started here on this hour of CoastTV News today.
Coming up, oystering out of work, how the frozen waters are not the only issue watermen are dealing with.
Also, Ocean City parking fines. How much fines could increase if a proposed ordinance is approved.
Still ahead, children playing at a unique preschool, the mission of Children's Beach House. And there is First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono in the Weather Center. He's tracking a slight increase in temperatures, keyword slight. We check in with Chris next.
Good Tuesday morning, Dale Marvin taking a live look into Salisbury this morning. Temperatures not too bad across the area. We're at 19 degrees, 21 in Cambridge, 24 Bethany Beach. When you factor in the wind, which is pretty much non-existent this morning, not seeing much of a wind chill, so certainly a lot better than the wind chills we've had over the last few weeks. We are seeing a few high clouds across the area. We should see some sunshine to start. That snow across western Pennsylvania is going to stay to our north. Partly cloudy skies. Today we get up to the lower 40s across the area, but I am tracking a few light snow showers overnight. We'll talk more about that here in a few minutes.
Imagine not being able to tell someone what you're thinking or feeling or struggling to learn with an invisible barrier people can't see. That's the reality for many children with communicative disabilities.
And it's this week's Ties That Bind Us with Coast TV's Madeline Overturf, who's showing us how the Children's Beach House in Lewes helps children and those others thrive along the coast.
This is Theo.
9 and 10.
That's awesome. Can I get a high five? He's just one of the preschoolers at Children's Beach House.
Jack and Julian.
Some of Theo's friends here have
Joy,
communicative disabilities.
Sabrina.
The classroom's a mix of students, some verbal, some not so much, but all full of that beautiful wonder only seen in children.
This one has a big net.
Kids who have a delay in speech, which is how we think about preschoolers with these kinds of problems, they learn faster from those kids who are typically developing than they do from anything we can do. And the kids who are typically developing can learn some empathy and some coping skills when they talk with kids who are different.
We learn a lot of different letters.
Preschool is just the start at Children's Beach House. There are summer camps and after-school programs through high school aimed at helping children find their voice, not necessarily literally, but emotionally and mentally too.
One of my favorite stories is a story of one of our staff members who's a social worker. She was a little 7-year-old girl when I came to work here. She's now in her early 20s, and she is serving as a family engagement coordinator and holds a social work degree. And she talks about her experience here, not in that we solved every speech problem or challenge that she experienced, but that she learned how to cope with it, and she learned how to build relationships with people so that she could be successful.
The Children's Beach House Gala is this Saturday, raising money for the nonprofit, which also has enrichment programs like yoga and Feelings Rock. They help students of all backgrounds learn in unique and beneficial ways. But don't take it from me, take it from Joy.
What's something that you want me to tell everybody about your school that you come to every day?
My school is so fun.
In addition to those unique enrichment activities, Children's Beach House preschool program has more of the traditional learning, you would say, as well, like days of the week, our seasons, our colors, our shapes, and just for our crew today, snow predictions. I think we have some future meteorologists in the room.
And then, of course, beyond the dune is the bay, and that gives us hours of activities for kids.
A beautiful setting for a beautiful mission.
All the research says if children build relationships with their peer group and with competent, caring adults, then that is the most important protective factor we can put in place between them and all the risks that are out there in the world.
What may just be a normal day for Theo and Joy is changing lives for their peers, one craft, color, and dance at a time. For the ties that bind us, I'm Madeline Overturf.
Time is 5:20, and we are giving you a live look at the waves rolling up on the beach in Ocean City. And Chris, you are mentioning snow. Light snow overnight. Let's be careful on that one.
Yeah, we're not calling for a big blizzard. We are looking at a period of light snow overnight that could, dust your car with some snow as you wake up tomorrow morning right around this time. 19 degrees right now in Salisbury. We're at 22 in Milton, 16 in Harrington, 21 in Gumboro. Winds relatively calm, so not seeing any sub-zero single-digit wind chills this morning across the peninsula. Now, we had a few high clouds overnight. Skies are clearing, but there is more cloud cover back off to the west. We have some light snow across central Pennsylvania, but the air across the area is just bone dry. You could see not a whole lot of moisture associated with this area of low pressure that's going to kick across the Ohio River Valley today and then pass through the overnight. So we're expecting today to be the pick of the week because we're going to be pushing near 40 degrees. Clouds will be on the increase through the afternoon and then tracking that weak clipper overnight that could bring most of the area an inch or less of snow, and I'm leaning more on the less side as we go into the overnight. Partly cloudy skies right around 40 in Georgetown. There's those clouds increasing through the overnight, and as we get after midnight, notice some light snow beginning to roll into the area. The trend has been more of a southerly trend, so trending more to the south as far as that light snow is concerned. Now, as far as snowfall totals go, as I mentioned, generally about an inch or less across the area. Think if anyone squeezes out an inch, it's going to be across the eastern shore around Salisbury and points south. Now, over the next 3 days, I think we have more clouds than sun into Wednesday. Much cooler, 34, cold, sunny, dry on Thursday, 30, and then by Friday, we are still cold and dry with another opportunity for some light snow as we go into Friday evening. Again, this is not going to be a big system as this Arctic front comes through. The bigger deal is going to be the return of Arctic air. In fact, temperatures are going to be back into the 20s for highs Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and unfortunately we're going to be dealing with wind chills, I think, below zero as we go into the day on Saturday and certainly by Super Bowl Sunday as winds begin to pick up. So we're at 35 Friday with that late opportunity for some snow, 24 on Saturday, back to overnight lows in the single digits, and we stay sunny and dry but very cold into the early part of next week.
Thank you, Chris. Got some developing news for you from the coast. You could pay more for parking violations in Ocean City. A proposed ordinance passed its first reading at an Ocean City Council meeting on Monday, and according to the council, the proposed ordinance would double parking meter fines during special events in town. The usual $50 fine would jump up to $100. Some people we spoke with are divided over the increase.
I just think something that's got that stiff of a penalty for just you're 10 minutes late, you're 15 minutes late, that just seems outrageous.
We understand if people are not taking care of their parking obligations, there is a penalty to be had for this.
The ordinance still needs to have a second and final reading before any changes are made.
An Ocean City Council has made changes during special events in town. One change doubled the fine for illegally parking in front of the fire hydrant during a special event, increasing it from $100 to $200. And parking rates in general also increased during special events, costing drivers an additional $1.50 compared to standard parking rates.
Up next, oystering out of work, why some watermen say the cost of going out can far outweigh any payday. CoastTV News Today is back after this.
Bitter cold and ice have shut down oystering across parts of the mid-shore, keeping boats tied to the dock and watermen out of the work. In Cambridge, parts of the Choptank River remain frozen, making it too risky for many to head out, even if they wanted to. And watermen say this isn't just about the cold and ice. Between dangerous conditions and a tough market, the math doesn't always add up. For some, the cost of going out can far outweigh any payday.
I'd rather keep my boat tied up in the slip and make $0 than untie it, trying to go make $350 and then tear something up that's going to cost $3,500.
With ice still covering the bay and no clear timeline for relief, watermen say they're watching the weather and waiting on help from the state.
And we're taking a live look into the icy dock here in Ocean City. Temperature 26 degrees there. Now, we're in for a really nice afternoon. We're going to start the day with sunshine. I think clouds are going to be increasing through the afternoon. We're going to be right around 40 degrees in both Ocean City and Fenwick Island. Winds are going to be relatively light through the day today. Lewes, 36 by around noon, and Rehoboth, really nice afternoon as those clouds begin to increase ahead of a weak system that's going to bring a period of light snow tonight. Cambridge, 22 at around 7 a.m., 38 by around 4. In Crisfield, a really nice afternoon with sunshine to start and clouds to finish. Congratulations, Sharon Cross, Harrington, Delaware. You just won an umbrella from CoastTV. Coming up, we will talk about some snow tonight, chances, and then even more Arctic air down the road.
Thank you, Chris. After the break on CoastTV News Today, new permissions for food trucks, how these businesses could see in more places in Millsboro.
Also, Bay Bridge protection, the proposals for a new project to improve the big connector for the eastern shore.
Plus, Cape May Lewes Ferry frozen, how the weather is creating travel changes. CoastTV News continues after the break.
Now on CoastTV News.
Renewable rules. How a Delaware law pertaining to the controversial electrical substation project in southern Sussex County is allowed to go into effect.
Frozen ferry, we look at another day of travel disruptions across the Delaware Bay.
And water tower work, the scope of the project underway at Lewes and how it will increase water capacity.
Stepping into temperatures in the teens this morning, the pick of the week on the way today as we make a run of 40 degrees, but I am tracking a period of light snow overnight tonight.
This is CoastTV News Today.
February 3rd, 2026. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for joining us today.
5:32 a.m. Light snow in the forecast. I like the word light in that description.
It's always nice when Chris has something for us to look forward to, anticipate in the forecast.
Dusting.
We talked a big game around Christmas about how we wanted a white Christmas.
I was even on board with that.
I
am a white Christmas guy.
Exactly.
Not a frozen tundra February.
No.
How about that for
parking
alliteration?
lots, people still having to be careful if you're taking your dog out for a walk, just trying to go into the shopping stores and everything. But there is great news. Today, 111 days until Memorial Day weekend.
I like the sound of that.
It is kind of the unofficial start of summer for you, Matt Pensick.
Let's bring in First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. Not the official or unofficial start to summer. Chris, we are still in the midst of winter.
Oh, yes, we still well are. And unfortunately, Matt, you're not going to like the forecast for the weekend, as you'll see here shortly. We had a few high clouds overnight. Other than that, we are dry. We have some snow pushing across western portions of Pennsylvania. Some light snow across Illinois and Indiana. This is the system that's going to be bringing us a chance of some light snow overnight tonight. We're at 19 in Salisbury. A cold, dry start to the day. We're at 20 in Long Neck. 26 in Lewis, and we are at 18 in Bridgeville. The good news this morning, we're not seeing any sub-zero or single-digit wind chills on the board thanks to some relaxed winds across the area. So we begin the day with a mix of sun and clouds. The clouds will really begin to increase, I think, late this afternoon through the evening as we top right around 40 degrees, and then that light snow will arrive primarily overnight after midnight, and we're looking at generally about an inch or less across the peninsula. I'll talk more about that, plus another round of Arctic air just in time for the weekend. I'll have details on how low temperatures are going to plunge in that full 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this half hour, that cold is even keeping the Cape May Lewes Ferry from setting sail. Ferry announcing even more cancellations for today, which are the 8:45 a.m. departure from Lewis and earlier the 7 a.m. departure from Cape May. Operations have been canceled several days in a row. Here's video on your screen of the scene. The bay completely frozen over, which is not something we often see. We actually spoke to the director of the ferry, who says the tugboats are working to help.
We had a shutdown in 2018. We were closed for about 8 days, and the temps were colder then, so we're hopeful that maybe it won't be like that this year, but we'll see.
The ferry says to continue to check its website and Facebook for updates as to when travel may resume. And happening today, Sussex County Council is set to discuss a mega development that's looking to come to the Selbyville area. This development would bring hundreds of units to this area you can see on your screen right now. Crosswinds LLC wants to change the zoning of land on Lighthouse Road and Dickerson Road from agricultural residential to an agricultural residential district residential planned community. The proposed development, known as Crosswinds Landing, looks to bring 352 units to the area, which includes 191 townhomes and 100 single-family homes, according to the developer.
New Delaware law tied to offshore wind now officially in effect, even though the legal fight over it isn't.
Senate Bill 159 kicked in over the weekend after a judge said no to Fenwick Island's request to temporarily block it.
Yeah, the law deals with large electrical substations for renewable energy projects, including one proposed for the U.S. wind project. That requires those substations to be allowed in certain industrial areas. It overrides a previous no from Sussex County. Fenwick Island and Sussex County are both suing the state over the law, and that case is still playing out in court.
New this morning, the Maryland Transportation Authority is requesting proposals to improve protection around the main spans of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. Officials say the project would improve existing protection on both the eastbound and westbound spans. Proposals are due in June of 2026, with an award expected in the fall. Construction is anticipated to begin in spring of 2027.
Also, Delaware Governor Matt Meyer and the Office of Women's Advancement and Advocacy, they're opening nominations for the 2026 Delaware Women's Hall of Fame and the She's on Her Way Awards. The She's on Her Way Awards, as we take a look at this here, recognizes young women between the ages of 18 and 30 who are already making a difference in their communities. The deadline to submit nominations is April 2nd.
Now, an update to a story that we brought you on Monday. Millsboro Town Council has unanimously approved a zoning change that opens the door for food trucks to operate more easily. Following a public hearing, council members voted to amend the town code. Previously, food trucks were only permitted during festivals and events, but now they can operate year-round. The change would also allow these businesses in the Highway Commercial District. This ordinance change would not permit food trucks in the downtown area of Millsboro.
And you are now taking a look at the Lewis Water Tower. Work underway to build a new one. It's going here on Jones Farm between Kings Highway and Savannah Road. We're We're told crews have started welding large sections of the more than $6 million water tower. Board of Public Works says the tower will get topped with a 1 million gallon storage tank. That's going to quadruple the city's capacity. The old water tower, that's remaining in service. Work is expected to finish in September. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem says all officers in the field in Minneapolis will get issued a body camera, and eventually that will go for all immigration agents.
Reed Binion shows us reactions to the announcement amid the ongoing investigation into the death of Alex Preddy, who was killed at a protest in Minnesota.
They generally tend to be good for law enforcement because people can't lie about what's happening.
President Donald Trump reacting to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's announcement that all DHS officers on the ground in Minneapolis will be issued body cameras.
Generally speaking, I think 80% good for law enforcement.
Noem said the body camera program will be expanded nationwide as funding is available, with her department deploying cameras to DHS law enforcement across the country. This comes amid a nationwide backlash after the separate fatal shootings last month of two protesters by federal agents in Minneapolis, Renee Good and Alex Preddy.
People from all walks of life in the United States are very upset.
On Monday, a judge lifted his order requiring federal investigators to preserve evidence from the Preddy shooting scene. The judge said federal officials had assured him the evidence would be properly maintained. Also Monday, authorities in Minnesota ruled Preddy's death a homicide, meaning it was caused by another person as opposed to being an accident, suicide, natural causes, or undetermined.
As we gather here tonight, I just want to thank everybody for coming out and remembering Alex.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
This just in, today marks 156 years since the ratification of the 15th Amendment. It banned U.S. states from preventing men of color from voting. Women of all races had to wait another 50 years for the right to cast ballots. Neither constitutional amendment was enough to guarantee Black Americans could access the polls. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 enforced the right for adult citizens.
And we have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, new birds at zoo. What is special about the newest addition to the Salisbury Zoo?
Also, boys basketball challenge got the tough road ahead for one of the top high school teams in Delaware. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
Well, this Tuesday morning is treating you well. Delmarva, as we take a live look into Dover, you see the snow and ice encased landscapes across the area. As we take a look at the temperature there, 25 degrees, winds are calm. We're at 19 in Cambridge, 20 Georgetown, 19 in Salisbury, 24 in Bethany Beach. The winds are calm this morning, so that's saving us from really bitter wind chills at this hour. We had a few high clouds overnight. Otherwise, we are clear and dry at the moment. We are tracking a round of light snow that will push through the area overnight. We're at 40 degrees today, so enjoy that. We should get some melting, but look where we're back Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're back in the 30s, and then by the weekend, well, look, blast of Arctic air rolls in, 24 degrees, and we're going to be back to seeing wind chills, unfortunately, below zero. You can get your latest forecast by calling our First Alert weather phone. We'll track the snow showers tonight, and I'll talk more about that Arctic air this weekend in that full 7-day forecast.
Salisbury Zoo is welcoming some colorful new additions. A pair of Arosari named Natasha and Clint are now on display at the zoo's newly renovated indoor rainforest habitat. They are relatives to the toucan bird species, and it marks the first time the species are getting care at the Salisbury Zoo.
Very exciting news there. Wacomico County health officials say the Newland Park landfill will be temporarily closed following an investigative request from the offices of the state attorney. According to a county executive, the landfill campus will be closed on Saturday, February 7th through Monday, February 9th. And that closure includes the landfill, the convenience center, and the brush pile. Details on the investigation have not been specified yet, but officials say there is no immediate threat to public safety.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Tonight should be a rematch for the ages. Dover boys basketball hosts Smyrna tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network's Game of the Night. And if the matchup goes anything like it did 2 weeks ago, then we are in for a treat. It was a surprisingly close game, and that's no knock to the Eagles. It's just that the Senators are undefeated against in-state opponents. Dover's only loss came to Bergen Catholic out of New Jersey. Smyrna, on the other hand, had already lost to Cape Henlopen, Caravel Academy, and Milford at that point in the season. Anyways, the Eagles kept it close on their home court, but the Senators won in the end 59-58. Dover senior Javion Dennis was the hero. He hit a game-winning floater with under 3 seconds left to secure the victory, although he only had 6 points on the day. Junior Kareem King led the way with 19. Tune in to the Delmarva Sports Network tonight at 6:30 to watch Smyrna go for revenge against Dover. I'll be on the call with Pat Cassett, and I don't know about you all, but I am very excited. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 6:30, it is live. Henlopen Conference Boys Basketball and Dover hosts Smyrna. You just saw that right there. Then catch the final score at 10:30. You can watch that basketball game on DSN Plus along with these exclusives. At 4 p.m., Red Lion takes on McCain in girls basketball. Then we have more boys hoops starting at 5:30. Pocomoke faces Mardella, and Cambridge South Dorchester is at North Carolina. At 6, Seaford visits Lake Forest.
And here's a live look at Santa Clara, California, the site of Super Bowl 60. The New England Patriots and Seattle Seahawks are continuing their week in the lead up to the big game. And don't forget, the Super Bowl airs right here on Coast TV, Sunday, February 8th. Pre-game starts at 1, kickoff is at 6:30 p.m. And after all that coverage, stay tuned for Coast TV News. And if you're having a rough week, cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up now for free at coasttv.com/sign-up to get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
Well, Paul, today the pick of the week because we're going to get to the 40-degree mark with some sunny skies. Clouds will increase through the afternoon. We are trekking around to some light snow overnight, but unfortunately, if you're tired of the cold, well, there's more to come over the weekend. I'll have details on how low those temperatures fall after the break.
And the time is now 5:48 a.m. as we're taking a live look outside. Chris, you're telling us that we got something fun to look forward to. We've got the snow moon going on.
Yeah, you have to catch it here in the next hour. So if you sleep in or you don't go outside, you're not going to see it. But yeah, the moon was vibrant last night with that snow moon, not a super moon, just a normal full moon here on Delmarva. 26 degrees right now, and we are seeing some cold temperatures this morning. We're down to 15 in Harrington, 16 in Renton, 21 Georgetown, and we're at 18 in Ocean Pines. Good news is the winds have stayed relatively calm this morning, so not much of a wind chill out there. We're seeing more of a west wind. We had a few high clouds overnight. Those are now pushing to the east, and we continue to see just a few high cirrus clouds across the area. Some light snow pushing across western portions of New York and Pennsylvania. Our next system, now it's going to be a moisture-starved system. An area of low pressure is going to swing through the area tonight, bringing that opportunity for some light snow. So we get up to 40 degrees this afternoon under partly cloudy skies. A really nice day as we see those temperatures get to 40 in Cambridge, 39 in Easton, 42 Ocean Pines, and 40 in Ocean City. So the clouds will be increasing through the evening. There's that light snow pushing through after midnight, and the trend has been more of a southerly track. So the farther north you go, you may not see anything at all. And again, this is not a whole lot of moisture associated with this system, and we're looking at more clouds than sun into our Wednesday, but cooler back into the mid-30s. So generally about an inch or less across much of the peninsula. So you have to brush some snow off your windshield tomorrow morning as you make your way out the door. 30 by Thursday under mostly sunny skies. We're dry into Friday and cold with another chance of some light snow by Friday evening, and that's associated with an Arctic front that's going to be pushing through Friday night. The bigger story with this is going to be the return of Arctic air. By the weekend, it's sunny, it's dry, but we're back into the 20s for highs. Overnight lows back into the single digits, and unfortunately, we're going to be dealing with another round of sub-zero wind chills, especially as we go into Saturday and Sunday, as those winds are going to be picking up with gusts to 30, 40 miles an hour as we go into the weekend. So once we get past the light snow tonight, we're dry and cold for the remainder of the week. 30 degrees into Thursday. 35 on your Friday with that light snow opportunity. Again, not a big storm there. The weekend looking sunny and dry, but very cold with temperatures in the mid to upper 20s through the early part of next week. Grace.
Thank you, Chris. Growth on the coast. We know it's a big issue. We have growing pains because everyone wants to live here, but that comes at a cost. Roads, infrastructure development, a loss of open space. All of that creates conflict and concerns.
Coast TV News has investigated all the deep-seated issues that brought us to where we are today. And tomorrow, February 4th at 7 p.m., join us for a 1-hour special to help you understand The Price of Paradise, growth on the coast. And we are counting down the days to the opening ceremonies of the Winter Olympics. They're about to begin, and you can watch it here February 6th to the 22nd on CoastTV.
And the time is now 5:52 a.m. Matt, it is time to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
I thought this would be a cutie here. Today's coastal pet of the day.
Oh my God.
Loves being warm and cozy and in front of the camera. On your screen, that is Grover. As you can see, Grover loves staying warm during these cold days and doesn't mind taking a few pictures. Grace, it sounds like somebody I know. No names, please. I said no names, please.
That's fine. Grover is the best dressed. I think we deserve to give him a Fashionista of the Day award.
There you go.
Well, we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. You can send us photos. Tell us what makes them so special. If you take a look at your screen now.
Scan that QR code, top center, get your friend to Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. We are bringing back First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. He's the fine-looking gentleman on the right side of your screen. I got some good news, Grace.
Okay,
I
Matt.
talked to Chris earlier.
Did
He
you?
and I talk.
You guys have a conversation?
We had a conversation.
I didn't realize
and
that.
Wind chill, not a big factor today.
Oh, okay. You know why? Matt Pensick's excited about that because your hair's not going to get messed up.
I had to use product this
a little
morning.
less. Matt's got a travel hairspray that he takes with him for his hat.
Yeah, we'll go behind the scenes here. I had to use product this morning. I try to avoid it, but Chris, as you can tell, it was not one of those mornings. I had to use the hairspray.
Yeah, pack it on, because guess what? You know, it's been such a cold streak. We got to take these positives anywhere we can get it. You know, we've had wind chills below zero. We had sub-zero wind chills. We had single-digit wind chills. Temperatures right now are in the teens and 20s. Now, over the next 12 hours, we're going to see a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures rising to near the 40-degree mark this afternoon, so it's going to be really nice. And then we'll see more clouds on the increase as we go into the evening and overnight as that weak Clipper system passes through. Few light snow showers are going to be with us at least through the pre-dawn hours of Wednesday. We're looking at generally a coating to an inch across the area, leaning more towards the coating at this point. 34 into Wednesday. 30 Thursday, and we stay cold and dry through really into early next week. We could see another round of some light snow as we go into Friday night. Now the weekend right now shaping up to be quite cold. We go back into the 20s for highs, overnight lows in the single digits. In fact, we're going to be dealing with wind chills in the single digits and below zero as we go into the weekend. So dress warm if you're heading to any Super Bowl parties. 27 into Monday. And then there you go, Matt. We gradually rise back into the 40s into next week. 45 into Wednesday and Thursday. Looking pretty good there. But overall, no big storm systems to deal with here over the next 10 days.
Yeah, nice try, weather guy. I heard you say below zero, right? Yeah, you did, yeah. Okay. Coming up in our next hour, canceled crossings, how the icy conditions are playing havoc at the Cape May Lewes Ferry. That and more when we continue with Coast TV News Today.